like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Hey. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. For
Well, hi, you guys. Hey, Larry, you guys, that was awesome what you did. That one made me so dizzy, the big one that you did, that pour. But then I got it. I loved it. And Aldo is over here yipping about something. I'm not quite sure why he's gotten enough treats today to, just fall over in a treat stupor. But no, he's just being Aldo. So, thanks for being here, you guys. Gail, my gosh, you are having crazy weather down there. I know that there's been these nutso warnings in Mesa where my daughter lives, flash flood warnings and all that stuff. And Bob just showed me the weather map above your house in Tucson. It's crazy. Yay! So we have Linda here, and Larry, and Angel's probably listening too. And Gail, she ran over. And yes, so I hopped on just a couple minutes early because I realized I wanted to tell you a little bit about this before we get going, about the author and the illustrator, because I always do, and I didn't want to miss out on that. And this person who wrote this book is Lynne Cox. When you see about her, when I first went to look her up, I found out things. It said things like about, ultra swimmer, distance marathon swimmer, and she actually is known for, probably best known for her swim across the Bering Strait on the 7th of August in 1987. The swim opened the border between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, and both U.S. President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev hailed her accomplishment at the signing of the INF Missile Treaty at the White House. My gosh! So she's been known for doing an athlete, distance swimming, and all kinds of things. But she's also an author of several books, Swimming to Antarctica, Grayson, South with the Sun, and Open Swimming Manual. Yeah, and her first children's book is the one I'm going to read tonight, and it is called Elizabeth, Queen of the Sea. Now, the illustrator is this guy, Brian Floca. He's the author and illustrator of several Locomotive, winner of the 2014 Caldecott Medal, Moonshot, The Flight of the Apollo 11, and several others. He illustrated a book by Avi, Poppy Stone series, including Ragweed and Poppy. Oh my gosh, that's a great chapter book. And in addition to the Caldecott Medal, he's gotten received 4 Robert F. Silbert Honor Awards and other picture book awards. Very cool. He was raised in Temple, Texas, and now lives and works in Brooklyn. So that's who we have for our author and illustrator tonight. And so in the opening show that you saw, not the videos, but several of the still pictures were my own pictures of different sea, this is about an elephant seal, this book, but those were about sea lions that I and some sea otters and stuff that I filmed in different places and photographed. So that was kind of fun to pull those in to the opening. But this, hey, yay, Sparkle. Well, yeah, and I'm going to get done, Sparkle, so that I started early so we can get to yours. Yay. Don't be nervous. You're going to be awesome, Lori. Just awesome. Thank you. We'll see you there in a minute. But first, I'm going to read Elizabeth, Queen of the Sea. And thank you, Gail. I had taken it off because Aldo was yipping at me. Thank you, Gail, for the reminder of the microphone. It was on, but it was sitting right next to me rather than on here. So now you can hear a little better, I'm sure. Sparkle, just heads up. Put your microphone on. It's one of my little things. And Larry will tell you to make a checklist. He's been suggesting that to me for 256 days. I actually have one. Yay. All right, you guys, let's hear a story. Okay, here we go. Oops, that's me. You got me big there. And it's switched. It is supposed to be, hang on. That's there. Let's undo this so that it gets the right feed in. And now we'll go back to my ear. Don't do this to me tonight, you guys. Okay. The book is being persnickety here. I've unplugged it twice. There we go. Come on. And, I know what it's reading. Hold it. That's what it's reading. Okay. Well, we'll undo that. And there, again, almost. There we go. Got that back. It read the wrong one for the wrong thing. And there is this one. There we go. Got it. Got it straight. Elizabeth, Queen of the Sea by Lynne Cox. The illustrations are just really beautiful. The line drawings and watercolor. The author's note says, many years ago, I traveled to New Zealand to swim across 3 lakes near Mount Cook. Before heading home to California, I took a walk along the Avon River, which flows through the city of Christchurch. A boy and a girl were standing on its banks, and they asked me if I was looking for Elizabeth. Who? I replied. The boy, Michael, explained that Elizabeth was a very lovely sea elephant who had decided to live in Christchurch. Then Michael and his sister Maggie went on to tell me this wonderful story of Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas. And when they were done, I knew that one day I would have to pass Elizabeth's story on to you. Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas. There. Trying to get that there. There was once a lovely sea elephant who lived in the city. Most elephant seals don't live in the ocean, in salt water. They sleep on rocky coasts and lie along sandy beaches. But this seal was different. She swam in the sweet, shallow waters of the Avon River, where it flowed through the heart of the city of Christchurch, New Zealand. When the seal grew tired, she'd pull herself up onto the shore by her front flippers and then haul her back flippers up behind her. Moving up the soft shore like a giant inchworm, she stretched herself out on the long, cool grass and take a nap in the bright sunshine. And when she got hot, she'd use her flippers to toss huge clumps of cold, wet mud onto her back. Oh, I could have used some cold, wet mud today here. The seal's coat was silvery brown. She was 8 feet long as a long surfboard, and she weighed 1,200 pounds, as much as 15 Labrador retrievers. The people of Christchurch knew that there was something very special about her. She was strong and powerful and regal, like Elizabeth, the Queen of England. So they named her Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas. There was once a small boy named Michael who looked for the elephant seal every day on his way to school and again on his way home. Even on weekends, he walked beside the slow swaying waters, hoping to spot Elizabeth's head bobbing above the current or see her body resting on the riverbank. Although Michael knew never to get too close to her, after all, she was a wild animal, he liked it to call out her name. Elizabeth! Hello, Elizabeth! Queen of the Seas! Are you there? And if Elizabeth was near, she'd turn and look at Michael with her dark brown eyes. Snort once to clear the water from her nostrils, and again as if to say hello. Early one morning when the grass was still wet, Elizabeth hauled herself up to the top of the riverbank and stretched out across the 2-lane road. Maybe she liked to feel the warm firmness under her belly, or maybe it was the sunshine fanning out across her back. But whatever it was, she decided to stay. Suddenly there was a screeching of brakes. Elizabeth moved forward as quickly as a 1,200-pound animal with flippers for legs can. And the car hit a rock and dented its fender. Elizabeth threw herself across the road. Another screech, and a second car just missed running over her back flippers. Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas, slid down the riverbank and belly flopped into the water. Elizabeth escapes death by a flipper's breath, the Christchurch newspaper proclaimed the next day. All over town, people were talking. Some were afraid Elizabeth would climb up onto the road again and be hit by a car. Others worried that she'd cause a terrible accident when cars swerved to avoid her. They decided that maybe it would be better for Elizabeth to live with other elephant seals. If she lived far away from the city, she wouldn't be a danger to anyone. You can see where they're catching her. So one day a group of volunteers in a small motorboat waited until Elizabeth was in the river, then approached her slowly and gently looped a rope around her large body. As they towed Elizabeth down the Avon River, a boy watched from the bridge. "Don't take my elephant seal away," Michael cried. "This is where she belongs." But the boat went on, towing Elizabeth out past the silty brownish-green river mouth into the cold, dark ocean. At last the boat reached a sandy beach where other elephant seals lived. There the crew set her free. Before Elizabeth, hundreds of elephant seals lay squished together. Huge males, 3 times the size of the females, were roaring and bellowing and belching. Mother seals called to their babies with squawks and squeaks and whimpers, and babies squeaked back. Maybe it was because the beach was too crowded and noisy. Maybe she missed Christchurch, or maybe there was some other reason that we can never know, but Elizabeth chose not to stay. Instead, the Queen of the Seas turned around and made herself as streamlined as possible, tucking her front flippers close into her sides so that she could move swiftly through the water. Back across the cold, open ocean she swam, and into the sweet, warm Avon River. Still on she swam, past the wispy willow trees that lined the shore, until she reached her favorite sunbathing spot by the bridge. There, she hauled herself out onto the riverbank and lay across the warm road. "Elizabeth, you're home!" Michael shouted, and Elizabeth lifted her big head,
looked at him with her dark brown eyes, snorted loudly once, then snorted again. It wasn't long before people all over Christchurch were running down to the riverbank or jumping on their bicycles to see Elizabeth. The traffic safety officers called the boat crew, who caught Elizabeth yet again. This time they towed Elizabeth to a seal colony, far, far away from the city. Each day, Michael looked for his friend, on the way to school and on his way home, and each day there was no one to greet him. But then one day, miraculously, Elizabeth was back, looking up at Michael and snorting before pulling her great body out to sun herself along the road. When Elizabeth was taken away the next time, people thought they would never see her again. The boat towed Elizabeth hundreds of miles from Christchurch before letting her go. And as the seal pulled herself out of the ocean water onto some large rocks along the shore, the boat turned and headed back to Christchurch. A month passed. Michael and his friends rode their bikes and swam in the river. They explored, built forts, and lay in the wild fields outside Christchurch, reading great books, and always, always they watched for Elizabeth. A second month passed, and then almost a third, and Michael watched the water, and he wished upon the stars. And then, one warm summer morning, Elizabeth was back. There in the water beneath the bridge was the beautiful elephant seal, who weighed as much as 15 Labrador retrievers. "Welcome home, Elizabeth!" Michael shouted. Elizabeth looked at him with her dark brown eyes, snorted once, and once again. Michael ran to tell his friends, who told their families, who all came down to the spot on the bridge. Looking out into the sun-speckled water, they cried, "Welcome home, Queen of the Seas!" And the people of Christchurch loved Elizabeth, and so they decided to put up a sign on the road where she liked to sleep. It was bright yellow with large black letters on it that said, "Slow Elephant Seal Crossing." And to this day, townspeople wonder how Elizabeth managed to travel so far. They know she must have swum through huge waves and against strong currents. She must have swum tired, but still kept on swimming. And she must even have swum while she slept, night after day after night. And they like to imagine that at last, when she reached the mouth of the Avon River, she swam upon a stream of moonlight until she reached the shore. There was once a lovely elephant seal who lived in the city. And that is exactly where she belonged. And that's Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas. And there's a whole bunch of facts. Elephant seals are named for their huge size and trunk-like nose of the male, or bull. Bulls can be as long as 15 feet and weigh up to 4 tons. That's 8,000 pounds. The females are much smaller, though still over 2,000 pounds. All dive deep into the sea to catch fish. They have big eyes that collect light to help them see in the dark world below, and sensitive whiskers to detect movement. Elephant seals eat squid, cuttlefish, and octopus, including deep-sea varieties that glow in the dark, making them easier to spot. Elephant seals also eat small sharks. Most of the seals' lives are spent looking for food. But for a few months each year, elephant seals are too busy to find food, and they fast. They don't drink, eat, or anything at all. This happens during the breeding season, while the males defend their territory and the females nurse the pups, and then again later in the year while the animals molt, shed, and grow new fur. Since they are mammals, elephant seals need to come to the water's surface to breathe. Still, they can stay underwater for up to 2 hours, accomplishing this by lowering their heart rate to as little as 4 beats a minute. When an elephant seal needs air, it swims to the surface, lifts its head out of the water, and takes in a big breath, making a huge snorting sound. The seal catches its breath for 2 or 3 minutes, then dives again. This is a weird kind of connection I'm going to make here, but these guys are a lot like hippos. Hippopotamuses, except hippos don't swim and these guys can, but hippos need to come to the surface to breathe. But they dive very deep and they eat along the shore, along the bottom of the river that they go through. Recently, elephant seals have become our aquanauts. Scientists attached computerized tags to their heads to collect information about conditions in parts of the oceans where we can't easily go. With the help of elephant seals, we can explore the mysteries of the deep as never before. Cool. And there's a picture of her, the real Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas, sleeping on the side of the road in Christchurch, New Zealand. You want an Elizabeth? Linda says she wants an Elizabeth. Oh my gosh. I know. Long distance open water swimmer and author of several books. Cool. Yeah, I love this black and white picture. Very cool. Perfect story. Good. I'm glad you liked it. In the town. Did he leave? Yeah, I've seen the bull seals and sea lions that are like down in Astoria that have taken over some of the docks. I have not seen elephant seals, but I've seen sea lions, and those suckers are huge. I can't imagine the size of a 8,000-pound bull elephant seal. All right. Your painting's moving all over the place? Oh my gosh. I've been cured. I can hear. You can hear. Yeah. It's not usually your hearing that's in the town. I know. From what I understand, that they have put up they made the newspaper down there in Christchurch and everything, and I think they put up a plaque and everything for her, all about Elizabeth, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so you guys, it is 6:28, and I'm going to sign off right now because we want to hop over to Art by Sparkle on her first live. It's always exciting to support an artist and a fellow content creator out there making new things and doing stuff and stepping out in front of the camera and just going live, which is just a lot easier actually than doing pre-recorded, because you don't have to edit. You just have to have wonderful friends that watch you, that remind you to put your microphone on and just laugh with you when you don't. So you guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you over at Sparkles. And until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around, but the first place you'll find it is in your mirror. And I'll be back tomorrow with more story and art.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars.
guys, it's Sparkles. I'm going to cut the music short and hop on over there.